Imagine me and you, I do. I think about you daily.
All right, fuck it. That's it. Go. Now all of a sudden we're live. By the way,
Wonderful.
well, no, the song all of a sudden now is playing like 10 times quieter than it was earlier, and I don't fucking know why. All of a sudden it's like, oh hey, guess what? It's so quiet. Hey, all right, great, awesome, thank you, dick mouth. Hey, you gonna be quiet too? I bet you everything's just gonna be way quieter now, and I don't know why. Yeah, can you hear that at all?
I can hear it, but it's faint.
Yeah, I don't know why it's so quiet right now. So it's stupid. I was gonna play "So Happy Together" so that you guys, for you guys getting Impact back, and fuck YouTube. God damn it! I fucking eat shit. I swear to God. So
And you sound just like me at the end of pretty much every show this week.
Nah. Well, you know, I mean, it is what it is. I don't know. Like, I was listening to that earlier. Like, I played it several times. I was like, okay. It sounds...
All right, hang on, dude.
What?
Oh, okay, it's better now. I got like a little wave of static there for a couple seconds.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say it was all better, and it was all like I was listening to it earlier and it was playing just fine, and now all of a sudden it's just like we're quiet as fuck, and I'm just like why? So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the latest episode of the Chinlock. Off to a rocking start as always, and due to the results of TNA Lockdown and the crowning of a new World Heavyweight Champion, TNA is back on the Chinlock.
And I get to brag about how right I was.
Yeah.
But I won't, because, I'm not that kind of person.
Yeah, right. Uh-huh.
At least not on the air.
Whenever you say head booker of TNA.
I don't know who you are anymore, Tim.
Though at the same time, he didn't predict that Bully Ray was going to be the leader of Aces and Eights.
That's why I only have an 80% accuracy.
Ha! You have a B- in accuracy.
Ha. Heedle weedle waddle waddle. So yeah. All right. So yeah, TNA will be back tonight. We can probably go over Lockdown. We can probably discuss what happened on Impact. You know what? Here's what I'll do. And maybe this is something I should have mentioned beforehand, but it just came to it didn't come to my mind until now.
Let's roll with it.
We'll just roll with the punches. Since TNA is back, all we will do as far as WWE is if there's anything major, well, we're not going to go over both shows. We're not going to go over everything that happened on both shows. We won't even do our usual speed runs of like, oh, this happened. Everybody can pick out something that they feel deserves to be talked about from each show, and then the rest of the show can go straight to TNA. And we can discuss what happened at Lockdown. We can discuss what happened on the most recent Impact and give predictions as to how the rest, the next few months are going to shape up for TNA as they head towards I know Slammiversary is the next one. That's in Boston. But hell, might as well just discuss what we feel are going to be the plans, or at least what Tim and Helmick feel are going to be the plans for TNA up to Bound for Glory.
Yeah.
All right.
So, Howard, you and I get the night off.
All right, bye.
Bye. We
I'm
got
gonna take
this.
some pain meds and roll around in bed.
So, but before we can get into any of that,
No.
We have to start off the show as we do every week.
With the end of it.
With the end of news.
That is really quiet. Why is that so quiet?
Dun-dun-dun-dun. Dun-dun.
No. It's just I don't understand why everything is like you guys are really loud, but everything else is so quiet.
I don't know.
I also don't know.
Yeah, neither. That's really weird. I don't understand. Ugh. I'm trying. Well, you go on with your news. I'm figuring this out.
All right. Well, for those who care, specifically Helmick, WWE Studios' latest movie, The Call, is coming up as second this weekend with The Call starring Halle Berry and with David Otunga as a actual actor in the movie. So, congratulations, WWE Studios. You actually have a successful movie.
That's one in a row.
I mean, it's their new approach to how they're handling WWE films. I mean, they're still going to do their wrestler movies that go straight to DVD, but as far as in theater, they're just kind of throwing money at movies with established stars.
Yeah, I think it's a much smarter way to go, and they probably really should have done it like this since the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
It's just get yourselves an executive producer credit. So I mean, I know Dead Man Down kind of tanked, but Halle Berry's a much bigger draw than Colin Farrell. So I say good for them. I mean, the movie right now on Rotten Tomatoes has like a 40%, which might be their best reviewed movie to date as well. So
it's possible. I don't know.
So I say, good for you.
Hooray.
Obviously, it's all because of David Otunga, though.
Obviously.
So if that guy ever comes back to work for the company,
Well, as long as he doesn't give out anyone else's phone number.
that's true.
That was good.
For those who were hoping for a Batista return to WWE anytime soon, forget it. He landed a role as being Drax the Destroyer for Guardians of the Galaxy. So forget it.
And for most wrestling fans that have no idea what you just said, Drax the Destroyer is a main character in the Marvel film Guardians of the Galaxy that will be out in, I believe, 2015. It's supposed to be the last big movie that hits before Avengers 2. It's all a part of the whole tied-in universe, blah-de-blah, such and such. So, yeah, that's the big deal. He's in one of the big Gigunda Marvel films that's going to be out in the next couple years.
That's okay. This still leaves the door open for a Bobby Lashley return.
Maybe they'll finally get Marcus Corvon back.
Wait. Isn't that who's accompanying Dolph Ziggler?
No. Bobby Lashley has a much bigger head. That's the only difference.
Well, dip.
Let's see. For anyone who likes TNA knockouts and likes a potential pay-per-view, you can forget seeing the following knockouts on that pay-per-view. Angelina Love, Awesome Kong, Peyton Banks, Roxy, Sarita, Tracy Brooks, Winter, and Rosita have all turned down TNA's offer to appear on that show.
Man, both of the Knockouts fans are really disappointed.
Aren't you, Howard?
I don't give two shits about any of that.
I just find it
But I would
funny.
give one.
He will give one. I find it hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, the idea of an all knockouts pay-per-view, I think, is already kind of a bad idea considering how they treat the knockouts division to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
If it had been a few years ago, would you think it would have been more successful?
I think it would have been maybe a better idea when they
Like
actually...
on paper, because I mean, you know, we've talked about, at least in the past. I mean, I don't really watch the current TNA product outside of what I hear from you guys, but a few years ago when we were regularly watching it, it seemed like the knockouts were actually the reason to watch the show.
Yeah, they had the highest rated segments.
So, and it just seems like a little too late.
Yeah, it was. It was too late. Plus, I just don't think, even when the knockouts division was at its peak, I don't think you had enough talent to really flesh out a whole 3-hour pay-per-view. I mean, I don't know. I don't think an all-women's pay-per-view would really sell well anyway. But when your best pay-per-view is only doing 10,000 buys.
And you also can't classify these as a traditional pay-per-view because they're recorded, they're at a cheaper price, they're available all month.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, it's a completely different format, so it gives them leeway to be like, you can't think of this Knockouts pay-per-view in the same way you think of Money in the Bank or Lockdown or anything else.
Or Taboo
Payback.
Tuesday.
Or even Taboo Tuesday.
Bad Blood with 2 Ds.
I just wonder, it's like, who are they going to get?
I don't know. At this point, I would rather see them do like the World X Cup for one of those pay-per-views.
I think there is something like that.
Okay. I've only been back into the TNA on the TNA bus for a week, so
Let me see if I can find the list. It'll take me a minute, so let's see. Well, they already did. What date is this from? This isn't dated, of course it's not. TNA X Division World Cup Tournament. 4 teams of X Division wrestlers in a one-night tournament featuring singles, tag, 6-man, and 8-man tag bouts.
no, okay.
Let's see. So they have that. They have the Extravaganza, which I think they already did, which was featuring stars of the X Division. The Joker's Wild Tag Team Tournament, they already did that, featuring enemies teaming up. They're going to do a Hardcore Justice 2, which will be an ECW reunion-style hardcore show featuring hardcore stipulation matches, bringing in ECW talents.
But not Gary Wolf.
Yeah. TNA 10 reunion, stars from the early days of TNA battling inside a 6-sided ring. The Knockouts Knockdown. The TNA International Incident one-night tournament featuring talent from United States, India, Mexico, Ireland, Canada, Germany, Japan, and the UK, with the winner earning a TNA title shot. The X Division World Cup, and then TNA World Cup of Wrestling. 4 teams, each captained by a TNA wrestler, featuring a heavyweight wrestler, a tag team, and an X Division wrestler, battling in singles, tag team, and stipulation bouts. The finale will be a 2-ring triple chance battle royal. Don't know what that even means.
As long as it's reverse.
Well, yeah, of course. The reverse battle rules are the wave of the future.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think out of all those ideas, the knockout pay-per-view would sound like the least interesting anyway. Just, I mean, for every match you can have with like Gail Kim and Awesome Kong and Tara and Mickey James, you're going to end up with some Angelina Loves versus Tracy Brooks, or I think at best you'd be looking at a 2-match show anyway.
Yeah, the other unfortunate thing is these pay-per-views, at least the first couple, were recorded so far in advance that you knew the results at least 2 months before the pay-per-view started.
Yeah.
Or the first pay-per-view you might have known like a couple weeks, but they recorded like 2 to 3 of the pay-per-views in one sitting. So some of them were so far in advance, and I think that kind of hurts the buys. But who knows? I mean, depending on who they would sign to some of those shows, I would be willing to see those events. Like I would like to see the 2 World Cup pay-per-views. Those I think would be interesting.
Yeah, this could be fun.
So we will see, I suppose.
All right. Well, I'm going to move on if that's okay.
Yeah.
All right. For those wondering what Dolph Ziggler is going to be doing for WrestleMania, apparently WWE is considering having him and Big Esophagus Langston versus Team Hell No for the tag titles.
I guess it would help protect Big Esophagus.
I don't know. I don't really know how I even feel about that.
It's a mid-card match that I really don't care about.
I rather would have seen Kane versus Daniel Bryan or like a fatal 4-way for the tag belts or something.
I would have liked to have seen Dolph Ziggler in a singles match.
I agree.
Just to give him the opportunity to shine.
Would you say an opportunity to show the world? Because he'll be there to show the world?
Listen, you walking meme. Stop it.
No.
We're only
I think we need to
16.
wean you off of memegeneokerlund.com.
I'm not even on it right now.
It doesn't matter.
But you were.
Before the show even started, you sent 3 of them immediately.
To get it out of my system.
That wasn't gonna get it out of your system. You'll send more.
For the show,
You
did.
addict.
Okay, well, I guess if we're gonna really talk about this, I mean, I would have preferred to have seen both what Brian and Howard were saying, but if you're going to do it, I guess they're probably the best tag team that you can put up against them right now, because I mean, the primetime players have just been murdered by these guys who are blindfolded with hands tied behind their backs. Rhodes Scholars got killed twice this week, so you probably do have to go with Ziggles and Big Esophagus.
Well, how did they get killed on Raw? Road Scholars, because they weren't a part of the beatdown by Brock Lesnar.
No, but they ended up losing to Orton and Sheamus later in the night.
Oh, right. They wrestled again.
Yeah, because Raw's 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, but like those guys have been killed dead at this point, and I think with I mean, I would have loved to have seen Daniel Bryan and Ziggler in a singles match at Mania. After the match they had on Monday.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess if you're gonna do a tag title switch, that's probably the best choice at this point.
I can't think of anybody else, and it's sad because Dolph and Big E still to this point have never tagged before. Big E hasn't had a match.
I was gonna say he hasn't even had an official match yet.
And his first match in the E is gonna be a tag team match at WrestleMania. Like, if that doesn't scream, we don't know what the fuck we're doing with the mid card this year, I don't know what does.
Yeah, the mid card is in some pretty rough shape.
Oh.
And it sucks because it's like the talent is there. It's not like they don't have significant talent there to put on the show. Just give Cesaro a meaningful feud, and there's your U.S. title match right there.
Well, they took away his meaningful feud.
Yeah, and put it in the put it for Intercontinental title, which seems like that's going to end up being a Mania match. Which, like, I mean, Miz, Barrett, and Jericho, I'm okay with. I don't have an issue with that being a Mania match.
No.
But give Cesaro somebody. I mean, at this point, I don't know who. I don't know who you give him, because Sheamus is going to be in the 6-man tag. So is Orton. Ryback is currently in that, but he's probably not going to be in it by the time Mania rolls around. Just trying to think of other mid-card guys that would work as like an exciting, interesting match for Cesaro.
Camacho.
Really?
Who?
Camacho.
Camacho.
Well, maybe they could do like a battle royal, on the pre-show, and the winner gets to wrestle Cesaro.
How about Fandango?
Fuck him. I'm already tired of the I'm not coming out till you say my name right.
Well, I thought the Great Khali got it right.
Oh, I watched that backstage fallout.
Huh? What about
What?
What about backstage fallout?
There was an episode of Backstage Fallout where Great Khali was like really pissed off because he thought he got his name right and then stormed off.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he got it right too. But let's see. For those who were wondering what happened to the wonderful John Cena on Raw, they decided to keep him off TV because they thought it wouldn't be fair if Cena cut a promo against The Rock and he wasn't there to defend himself.
They should have thought about that a fucking year ago.
Yeah, I mean, Cena wasn't on the show, and I didn't even notice until I, read results that said Cena wasn't on the show. It didn't even dawn on me that there was no Juan Cena and there was no Rock. I mean, it was really, in a lot of ways, for the most part, it was a Paul Bearer tribute show, which I enjoyed all those aspects of it.
Yeah. I mean, are they going to do that this week too? Because I don't think Rock is on the, tomorrow night's show. I don't think he's back until the following Raw. So do you keep Cena off again?
I don't know. I mean, I think last week or this past week's episode was under special circumstances. I think you could get away with keeping him off, and you can book a lot of other things. And I think you can have Cena on in some way, shape, or form. He doesn't necessarily even need to cut a promo on The Rock, but you can have him in a tag team match or something to that extent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess a lot of that will depend too on if you end up doing the so exciting contract signing with Brock Lesnar and Triple H.
Oh, I know you're looking forward to it.
Oh, you can tell, can't you?
Well, so far that won't be this week. This week will just be Triple H responding.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what the hype is for this week, is Triple H will respond to Brock Lesnar's guidelines of you get your match if I pick stipulation. Is that a part of your news?
No.
Okay.
Well, actually, what the stipulations could be.
Well, if you want to go right into that part of the news, go right ahead.
All right. Well, apparently the rumor.
I like
Okay.
All right.
All right.
God damn it.
I was kind of saving it for the end, but we can do it now.
Well, what did you have before that?
I was going to talk about Vince frowning on Jack Swagger and Zeb Coulter's story.
Mm.
Yeah, that angle.
Because apparently he doesn't get any anything when it's out there.
Nope. This angle had a really hot beginning, and they just they took it to lowest common denominator stuff with fart jokes and guys dressing up as each other.
So are you the only one that didn't like the Alberto Del Rio Ricardo dressing up as them thing?
I don't know. I guess I liked Ricardo more than Del Rio doing it, but I don't know. Like, I guess if I were younger, I just don't like the material itself. I guess is my problem. Because this angle started off, really interesting, and then they just really took all the wind out of it. And now I just feel like it's like they're going with the comedy side of it, and I didn't think you really needed that at all, especially for a world title match.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know, it was just a real disappointment because this could have been a really good, interesting angle.
I mean, well, it's not like WrestleMania's tonight. I mean, there's still time for them to do something with it, but
That's true.
you know, we shall see. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen the second mocking video. I only saw the first one, and I thought it was kind of funny.
I did too. In an interesting development, I know we don't like seeing people actually get hurt, but apparently Meth Hardy had suffered a legitimate concussion at Lockdown when he was powerbombed by Bully Ray. And in a smart move by TNA, they decided to put him in the brawl angle at the end of their show.
Yeah, like, apparently before they did that show live on Thursday, he was cleared, but they put him in the brawl, and there were several shots throughout that brawl of him getting punched in the head, stomped in the head. Like, he took so many headshots. And I'm just like, how fucking stupid can you be?
Well, TNA, as TNA can tell you, they can be pretty stupid.
Like, I don't... There are just things I don't understand. Because the WWE... Like, say somebody got a concussion, a SmackDown guy got a concussion on Sunday at a pay-per-view, and before Friday they were cleared. WWE still would have them not wrestle or not be on the show, or they wouldn't be taking headshots.
No, and yeah, I don't know. I didn't pay too much attention to Meth Hardy during that brawl, so I mean, I don't know if how it works, the shots looked or whatever, but I mean, in a big brawl like that, you don't need. I mean, there would have been no difference. You would have had Meth Hardy or Eric Young run out.
Well, I mean, I wasn't paying any particular attention to Hardy. It was just every time they showed him on screen, he was getting some attack to the head. That was my thing. Like, I wasn't looking for it, but they kept showing it. I'm just like, why? Like, why are you doing this? The guy just got a concussion, and you're having him take shots to the head. It's dumb. And it's not. And they didn't even. I don't even think they mentioned it on Impact. Like, oh, he suffered a concussion from the match.
No, they didn't mention it at all.
So it wasn't like they were selling anything. Like, oh my God, they're punching him in the head. He just got a concussion. Rah!
Well, he wasn't even on the show until that segment.
Yeah.
All right. Well, back to the Lesnar versus Triple H shit. The rumored stipulations for the match, and I'm sure Brian has a lot to say about it, is they're thinking of possibly having Brock Lesnar versus Triple H in an MMA-style match, or Hell in a Cell.
I mean, Hell in a Cell it's fine with me.
As long as it's not MMA.
If it's MMA, there is no possible way in hell you can book Triple H winning. There is no believable circumstance that will lead me to understand and be okay with a former UFC World Heavyweight Champion losing to a guy in his 40s with no professional training in mixed martial arts. And I know it's fake and I know all that stuff, but no. It'd be one thing if Brock went into MMA and floundered. It's another thing when he went in there and he beat guys like Frank Mir and Randy Couture and knocked people the fuck out and pounded their face into hamburger and looked like a goddamn machine. and you want me to believe that Triple H, who the most training he's ever had is throwing fake punches, would be able to beat a UFC heavyweight champion in his first ever MMA fight?
Book it.
No. And I'm not saying no to you, Howard. I'm saying no, just no. Now, if they are picking that stipulation because the idea is to have Lesnar win, fine. But if it's picked and I am sitting in those stands and Triple H wins, it is TNA level idiotic of a move for WWE to pull.
Yeah, and I don't think they would go that route at
Hopefully they
WrestleMania.
don't.
I mean, I just don't know. I don't know if to have that type of worked match would really translate well to being something really exciting that the crowd would really get into as a whole. I mean, I think a lot of your UFC fans, your Ultimate Fighting fans, MMA, they're going to watch MMA shows. And I think that a lot of not every wrestling fan is an MMA fan.
No, but I mean, I would say as far as the adults go, I would say there's a decent chance that a lot of the adult fans of WWE are also MMA fans. Not all of them.
Yeah, not all of them. But I don't know. I just I don't think that's something that they would do to run the risk of eliciting any boring chants or anything like that at Mania. I don't think. I think they would want to try to shy away from that. But the one thing that I do want to talk to you about, Brian, is that you were talking about a guy in his 40s who's never had an MMA fight, which is true. But Triple H is the King of Kings.
Don't you dare bring your logic into this shit.
Yeah, I'm just saying when you give yourself the same nickname as Jesus Christ.
No, I'm not using wrestling logic in this. That's not going to win this argument. No. No.
Oh, no, don't get me wrong. I think it's a bad idea, all the way around.
Yeah. I mean, there are guys that have done it like, what was it, Herschel Walker? Or am I thinking the wrong name?
I don't know.
Football guy.
That
went into MMA.
I think Herschel Walker did have a fight.
I think he had a few fights.
He may have.
But what was it? Batista, but they trained for like at least a year. Like they didn't do it for like a short amount of time. They didn't do it for three, because if they sign that, if they make that the match this week, it's confirmed as an MMA rules match. That gives him 3 weeks to train. And there's no way you learn enough in 3 weeks. He's had 2 fights.
Well, here's the thing. It's actually going to be less time than that because he actually has to sign the contract and then you're it.
Yeah, so 2 to 3 weeks, and you're expecting me to believe that he'll get enough MMA training because he can't do any of his traditional wrestling moves. They don't apply. Professional wrestling moves don't apply in any of the rules of MMA.
What?
He has to strike and kick. He has to punch and kick. He can't do a pedigree.
What?
They can't have some swerve where the ref gets distracted and he uses the fucking sledgehammer.
What? I'm not doing it on purpose.
Oh, I know. No, I know. I'm not.
To kind of go along with Helmick's point, there is only one King of Kings.
I hate both of you.
That's okay. I hate me too.
It's in the song, so it's got to be true.
Herschel Walker is 2-0 in MMA. He has a first-round knockout and a third-round knockout.
Let's just have Brock Lesnar versus Jason David Frank in the Green Ranger costume.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I could see Hell in a Cell, I could see more so. Just because I could see Triple H wanting to book himself on a Hell in a Cell match at Mania again.
That, or I would be okay with, like, if you did a street fight, if you did a Falls Count Anywhere match, something to signify that this is not going to be rest holds and headlocks. It's going to be punch, kicking, weapons, ass whoopery.
You know what? I got the perfect stipulation for this match.
A submission match?
Well, maybe.
Okay.
Well, a street fight Hell in the Cell, where they put a big cell around a parking lot.
No, not quite. You guys are getting a little ahead of me.
A Lion's Den match?
Well, that was a close second.
Okay.
One fall to a finish. What's wrong with that?
Well, then we get into an issue where Mason Ryan might come out instead.
You know what? I think I might be more interested in seeing Brock Lesnar versus Mason Ryan.
But he's not the better Welshman.
That's true, but the better Welshman is, he's busy.
Robbie T versus Ryback. WrestleMania 29.
You can't do that, because then it would be like the space-time paradox from Back to the Future would happen, and the universe would be destroyed.
That and you'll have dueling Feed Me More chants. I always thought that the stipulation would just end up being, career versus contract or something like that.
Yeah, that would be a good one, too.
That's what I would just consider the preferred way to go.
As long as the entire career is on a pole.
I mean, that's a way of doing it, but the overall expectation is that this is something that Triple H is going to probably win because he lost the first one. So I don't see how after the guy signs a 2-year contract that his first match after signing that is a match where he loses the contract. That would just be my thing. Unless he's going to win and he ends Triple H's wrestling career, then fine, do whatever you want. But I'm just thinking of it as stipulations that make sense where Triple H wins and I'm like, all right, it's fine, because I just feel like that's what they're shaping up towards. I mean, if they're giving us a big swerve and Brock Lesnar's going to win, I like that a lot, to be honest. I mean, out of the two, it's like Triple H, after this match, is not going to wrestle again. He's not going to be on Monday challenging for the world title. He's going...
As far as you know now.
Yeah. As far as we know, he's gone after Mania, and Brock Lesnar is still going to be there for the next 2 years. So the logical thing is to make the guy that's going to be there strong. But who knows?
Yep. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, because, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, WWE likes having these series of matches with guys. Like, I know a lot of people are already saying, like, if Cena is supposed to win at Mania, then I guess that means WrestleMania 30 is Rock versus Cena 3. And I can tell you, I don't want it.
Well, all that will depend on the buy rates for this year's WrestleMania. That will determine if we see Rock Cena 3.
It will. And I'm sorry, go on.
I say, and if not, just blame it on the Miz.
My mentality would be, if you want to do a third one, fine. But do it at, like, SummerSlam.
Say please.
Because my mentality is WWE is looking at Cena versus The Rock as a match that is a marquee matchup for an A-list pay-per-view, which is Rumble, Mania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. Or if they want to bring back King of the Ring. And SummerSlam is far enough away, yet conceivable enough where The Rock could lose at WrestleMania and then have something happen where he can't cash his rematch in right away, and then the whole push of SummerSlam is The Rock cashing in his rematch clause at SummerSlam.
That would be cool. And that would probably boost buy rates for SummerSlam, which have been tanking the last couple of years anyway.
Yeah, because it would be completely conceivable that John Cena would be champion from Mania to SummerSlam. It's not out of the realm of possibility. So, to me, that would make sense. I mean, I know The Rock has signed an agreement to wrestle through Extreme Rules, so he'll more than likely be on that card. I just don't see them doing the third match between Cena and Rock on Extreme Rules. Even though CM Punk and Rock was on Elimination Chamber, I don't think they held that feud in as high regard as Cena Rock.
No, Cena Rock is their big moneymaker.
Yeah.
So, no, I mean, I could see them, pushing that back until SummerSlam, or if you get huge buy rates, I can see them popping it again for a third time, and they could have, Rock, Cena, thrice in a while.
I mean, me personally, I see, like, if they're going to use The Rock at Extreme Rules, I could easily see it being a situation where Shield wins at WrestleMania, and then their final comeuppance is at Extreme Rules with Cena, Rock, and somebody else.
Yeah, that could work.
I mean, I think I mentioned this last week, but Rock is someone that has been attacked by Shield that has not gotten comeuppance yet. He has not gotten revenge.
He hasn't got him some.
No, he has not got him some.
Yep.
So you could do those two and Ryback, or I mean, whoever they want to do. Del Rio, I don't know. Somebody. So. All right, so Raw. Anything anybody really feels needs to be discussed for Raw?
Well, I really thought that the way they handled, the Paul Bearer tributes throughout the show were really good. Punk came out and interrupted Undertaker's salute, but he didn't cut any type of promo trashing Paul Bearer. But he made reference to it, and the way he worked it in toward the match, saying that Paul Bearer will always see you as perfect, but after I'm done, you're not going to be. I thought was a good way to kind of toe that line without being too exploitative, but still acknowledging it.
Yeah,
so I thought that was actually pretty well done.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, go on, Howard.
Sorry, I was going to say I agree, and I really it was a good thing for Kane too, for him to get involved and have a decent match with Punk over it, and I thought that it worked for all three of the guys. I thought it ended up being giving Kane the win, and not really pushing so much on the insulting or the kind of that kind of a thing. So I agree with you. I think they did as best a job as they could with it, while still letting Punk get some heat from it indirectly.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was I was actually kind of surprised they took that high of a road on it. So good for them.
Yeah, I thought they were very tasteful in handling the whole Paul Bearer stuff for the show. Not going too far.
Yeah, I was concerned when Punk first came out. Like, I was like, oh, where is this going? But no, they handled it well. They did a good thing of not taking the cheap shot yet still making it a more personal feud between the two leading into Mania.
So far, it's building up as a better feud than Taker and Triple H.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. This is the match I'm most interested in seeing at WrestleMania.
Well, you just wait.
I know. I'm waiting for the Derek Bateman to get his big WrestleMania push. Then I'll be much more interested in that.
That'll be around WrestleMania 40.
I know. But you know what? It's coming. I'm a patient guy.
Cody Rhodes and Damian Sandow did a grammatically correct version of the New Age Outlaws intro.
Yes,
that was pretty
awesome.
funny.
I hope that's a part of their
you were
theme
not
song
aware?
now.
Yeah.
Oh, you were not aware of this? I really want that to be a part of their theme song now.
Yeah, so do I. That was. I don't think they'll do it anymore unless they have another thing with the Outlaws. But I thought that was really funny.
Yeah, and it also seems like they are slowly turning Cody Rhodes' face.
It looks like they're building up toward that. It looks like they're going to use Caitlyn as the vehicle to turn Cody face, which, I mean, I don't know. I could see that actually kind of working because he gets a lot of chants and cheers for his mustache now.
Oh! Holy shit, I just thought of something. Go on, finish your thought now.
I was kind of done.
Oh. So, I have a feeling that this could possibly lead to a WrestleMania match. Because I was like, well, maybe this is a face turn where, they won't do Sandow and Cody Rhodes isn't a big enough match they would agree to make it a one-on-one match at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this would be the kind of match that they would make, and this would also be because they always want to have a match that highlights the Divas in some way.
Okay.
I could easily see this being Damian Sandow and the Bella Twins against Cody Rhodes, Caitlyn, and Karma. Because ever since they signed the Bella Twins, the big report has been that they've reached out to a lot of former divas asking them to come back. And Karma was sent a tweet by a fan on Twitter about like, hey, the Bella Twins are coming back. Could you be coming back? And she said, maybe. Now, I know that doesn't mean anything, but I just... It's an easy fit. It
would be.
It gets Karma to get her comeuppance, even if it's a one-time thing. I think it would be interesting enough that people would want to see it.
You know what? I think that would be. I'd be okay with that. You get a lot of people. You get a lot more people. A big WrestleMania payday. You get. You finally get. You actually get some closure on a long-term Divers angle. I like it.
Well, I like the idea, except I would take Karma out and put in Maria Menounos.
You don't want to put in Snooki?
No. No.
They would probably still be the best Diva workers in the match.
Who?
Maria Menounos.
And Snooki?
And maybe Snooki too. Yeah.
Hey, Snooki's all thin now. She's in shape.
Yeah.
She could maybe do more. That's just, I don't know. That was I don't know where that came from because I was just sitting here thinking like, whoa, maybe it's a WrestleMania match. They wouldn't make those guys one-on-one. Wait, the Bella Twins just came back, but who would you team with Caitlyn? Karma.
Hey, Young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mae Young.
She can figure out where she is.
I'm sorry, go
Go
on.
ahead. I was going to steer us back to Raw.
Oh, okay.
I'm terrible at that.
No.
No, that's okay.
Go ahead, Brian.
Well, what I found is I found the results for the knockout knockdown one night only pay-per-view. So that would actually let us know who came back. So, if I can go through that, or we can wait for the TNA portion and I can do that, whichever you want to do.
Let's sit on that for a bit.
We will sit on that then. Go steer
You
us
got to
back.
warm it up so it'll hatch.
But I was going to say they used actually the segment where it was supposed to be Road Scholars versus New Age Outlaws, but they used it for Lesnar to appear and destroy the Outlaws.
Yeah, I thought that was actually pretty smart. You were able to have Lesnar come out, and he didn't say a word. Lesnar did all the talking. I did think it was kind of funny that we had to watch the Outlaws sell an F5 for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So like I'm imagining like the live crowd had to sit and wait through a commercial break while they got these guys out of the ring. But no, I mean, I thought it was quick and to the point. And it was effective. I have a feeling that Triple H's rebuttal will not be that quick this week.
Well, he'll breathe heavily into the microphone for about 10 minutes.
And growl.
And growl. And Motorhead will be playing in the background.
Or at least one thing will be good out of it.
Him growling?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Let's see. One thing that I thought was kind of weird and dumb were Jerry Lawler and Michael Cole talking over the horrendous segment involving Brad Maddox, The Miz, and Chris Jericho.
I did not think it was odd at all. Because it was the best part of that entire segment.
Yeah, but I don't know. I couldn't even hear what they were talking about because they were just like screaming over top of everybody else talking. It was hilarious, don't get me wrong. But it was just that whole segment was awkward. Like the Geritron randomly disappeared halfway through, and the Miz and Jericho were joking about it. There's no furniture or anything in the middle of the ring. It just seemed like a really weird segment overall. Well, Brad Maddox did come out and ruin it totally, but I just thought that whole thing was weird. I don't know how you guys felt about it.
Yeah, it was a bad segment, and then but like Vince has been known to do stuff like that though, where like he'll get on the mic and like tell the announcers, hey, like bury this segment. Like Jim Ross used to do that with matches, sometimes where he would make like a snide comment or a snide remark at the end of it, and something like, "Thankfully that's over," or "Mercifully, the referee has stopped this match," something along those lines. So, but yeah, that segment was terrible.
It's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, if they hadn't talked over it, it would have just been an entire awkward segment of like, can this end? Can this go away now? So, I mean, I'm not saying they made it better. Just overall, it was a horrible segment, capped off by announcers yelling over it, and then
Brad Maddox,
who really should never be on WWE television again.
But he's gonna be. He's so adorably awkward. He's adorable.
No, he's not. He is a fucking nuisance.
I'd rather have the great Khali come out and say something.
Put him on commentary. My pretty good.
Whose headphone is this?
Whose iPad is this? Oh, my Coco's iPad. Oh, this is a very nice iPad.
Don't give them any ideas.
Oh, is this iPad 4? I only have iPad 2. I'm gonna take this.
He has an ePod.
This is mine now. He starts taking Michael Cole's stuff. Oh, this is mine now.
Moving on.
Are we?
Maybe.
Ryback and Mark Henry murdered jobbers to continue their feud of one-upping each other.
And what better way to do it?
Kofi Kingston's not really a jobber.
At this point he is, because he's not doing anything else.
Well, he doesn't have any mid-card gold. Once he gets that title back, then he'll win more.
He'll win at doing nothing.
He's only temporarily relinquished his crown as king of the mid-card.
Fair enough.
So,
I assume Cesaro has that crown right now.
yeah, and I mean he'll relinquish it when he moves on to the main event because Kofi Kingston is unable to do that.
No one's able to do that right now, really. Unless you're Alberto Del Rio and murder him on national television. Because that's how you get your United States champion over, by having him get murdered by the world heavyweight champion.
Well, look, we can keep saying that every week on this is how you get Cesaro over, this is how you get Cesaro over. They're fucking it up. You know, I mean, there's no other way to explain it, but sitting here every week and saying that's how you get him over, it's a waste. They're not going to change anything yet. You're not going to see any improvement until at least after Mania. So there's no point in even getting upset over it anymore. It's bullshit, but they're going to do it. He is now the tool to make main event Mania competitors look strong.
He'll destroy everyone in the mid card, and then he'll just get beaten by a main eventer. It's just a circle of life.
He'll get beaten by those main eventers because right now they're in marquee matches for a pay-per-view that makes the company over $1 million.
I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is a push doesn't mean shit to a company when it's their biggest pay-per-view that makes them millions of dollars. So his push can wait. And I'm not saying this is the right thing to do, and I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just saying that's their mentality. This is their big pay-per-view. This is their big moneymaker. This is their Super Bowl. Making those matches look strong are more important than making our favorite mid-carder, who will one day be a main eventer, look strong now. By the summer, I'm sure he will look like fucking Superman.
Hopefully.
Yes. Hopefully. While Dolph Ziggler will just allow his contract to expire. Because he'll forget. And just be like, oh, damn it.
Well, he'll jump out of a window and flop around and sell it.
Or someone will take it and hide it from him. And then he can't find it until it expires.
No.
Or they'll take it from him and then they use it themselves.
Yeah, you know what? WWE would do that.
They have before.
The company that wouldn't allow a millionaire to buy the world title will allow some schmuck to just take a giant blue briefcase and say, mine now, and get a title match.
It's because the golden days of Jack Tunney are long gone.
And they were golden days because they made sense.
Yep. Let's see, for Raw, I don't think I have anything else.
Kane won.
Yeah.
And I think that was fine, and I don't think it hurts CM Punk.
No. Again,
especially for what he does after the match.
Yeah, he took the urn. He has the urn.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I hope he melts it into a gold chain.
Or he comes out with a bigger urn with a flashlight in.
Now you know that CM Punk is short for Kama. Kama Punk.
Kama Mustafa Punk.
Yes. Well, he wasn't Kama Mustafa then. He was just Kama. Kama Mustafa is his Nation of Domination name.
Well, can the Mustafa be in parentheses?
No. Unless he's joining the new Nation of Domination. Which I think they had a white rap group. So that made sense.
All right.
Yes, they're a group of black power, yet to properly vocalize their cause, they decide to get white people. I don't. It's old. It's already gone.
That's no way to talk about Crush.
Oh, Crush was in that too, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
In the very beginning, it was Crush, Farouk, and Savio Vega.
And D'Lo Brown.
Yeah, D'Lo Brown. He came along a little bit later too.
And Clarence Mason.
Well, didn't Crush later become a disciple of Apocalypse?
He was the leader.
Yeah,
that's right. You know who should come back and feud with Aces and Ace? The Disciples of Apocalypse.
Yeah, but Crush is dead, so no.
Oh.
I don't want to see the Harris brothers on TV anymore.
Oh, goodness. All right.
Let's move on from Raw.
Did anything happen on SmackDown?
Hang on.
Sheamus and Randy Orton did a repeat of Raw by murdering the Rhodes Scholars. Um,
And that's when they signed those two and Ryback against the Shield.
yes,
Which
temporarily.
Yeah. Placeholder.
Let's see. Swagger and Jericho had a good match.
Yep.
The talented Brie Bella and the hot Nikki Bella beat up Naomi and Melina versus Alicia Fox backstage.
Oh, no.
Dolph Ziggler completed a clean sweep of Team Hell No this week.
Yeah.
That makes Big E Langston look strong.
And,
Doesn't it?
And Mark Henry and Ryback, which was being pushed for WrestleMania, I thought ended up happening on SmackDown.
But did it actually happen?
No.
Well, it didn't actually happen because the Shield ran in, and then
Mark Henry did what he does.
yeah, he do what he do.
Oh, also, most importantly, the Great Khali tried, and as far as I'm concerned, successfully pronounced Fandango's name.
Yeah, but he disgraced the art of dance.
I thought
He did.
I could have sworn that Booker T said for last Friday's SmackDown that if Fandango tried to pull the whole "I'm not wrestling again," that he was gonna do something about it.
I don't know. what you're talking
Well,
about.
maybe we'll find out this week on SmackDown.
Maybe, or it'll get dropped like 60% of TNA storylines.
Yeah, that's a possibility at this point too.
Oh, right. Also, the Shield murdered Sheamus and Orton when they were having an interview segment with Matt Striker.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
That was when, especially when Ray speared Sheamus, or I should say, he didn't just spear him; he kind of like buzzsawed him through the backstage props that were behind him.
Yeah, that was actually really cool because Shane was just in a mid-sentence, and then you just see Reigns like fly in from off camera and just go right through Sheamus. That was actually a really cool visual.
That was, and they slammed Orton's head on the wall there and put him through a table and whatnot. I forget what else they did, but outside of murder them.
Yeah, well, I think they threw one of them through a catering table.
Yeah, and the referees came in late to stop them because otherwise they would have no more catering.
Yeah, well, the referees are always late. Referees were late to the Bella Twin beatdown of the Funkadactyls too.
Also, I'm sorry, I kind of just cut you off there.
No, it's fine.
Okay, I was going to say Del Rio and Ricardo did another Zeb Coulter and Swagger video segment where they talked about borders and Canadians crossing them and bringing their illegal substance known as syrup.
Yeah,
I loved it. I know Helmick doesn't like it. But
I didn't particularly like. I guess my bigger thing is I thought it was better when Del Rio did the whole the whole Canada joke when he was a heel and was talking about his Canadian housekeepers. I thought that was funny. I thought that was much better.
He's keeping up appearances, okay?
That is true. He was also on NXT this week, keeping up appearances.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, he cut about half of a promo, and then Cesaro came out.
Only half.
Yeah, he didn't really. He got to thank the people for helping him become the world heavyweight champion, and then Cesaro came out. It was actually really quick.
Yeah. So overall, I'd say they did a decent job pushing some of their main event matches for Mania, and a not so good job establishing what the hell the mid card is.
Yeah, that is pretty much the theme that I've come to expect with WrestleMania season. SmackDown is also the most pointless 2 hours in television. I feel ripped off whenever I watch this show.
Mm-hmm.
Because nothing of real consequence happens. And you know what? They still don't even really... I guess this week was probably the first time that they talked about WrestleMania with the Shield showing their videotaped promo to Orton and Sheamus. Other than that, I probably wouldn't even know that if I just watched SmackDown, I probably wouldn't even know that WrestleMania was coming up.
Yep.
Yeah, but who only watches SmackDown?
I'm sure there's
someone who consciously only watches sci-fi on Friday nights.
Yeah, somebody's probably watching reruns of Eureka. And
I was going to say, maybe that excuse worked when they were on CW or WGN or whatever.
Watching like Total Blackout and Eureka. I don't know. There's probably there's somebody.
I would say the thing that's on cable now is that if it's on Sci-Fi, then you have the means to also watch Raw. Just saying.
Yeah, but
fuck them.
I don't know. I don't know. All I know is that SmackDown was nowhere near as good as NXT this week.
Fair enough.
Not even close.
Alright, so before you guys go into Impact, I have the list of people who appeared on the Knockout pay-per-view. Are you ready?
I's ready.
Gail Kim, Alyssa Flash, Lady Tapa, Eva Lise, Tara, Mia Yim, Brooke Tessmacher, Santana Garrett, ODB, Trinity, Jackie Moore, Taryn Terrell. Got to go to the second page because for even the skimpiest of results, WrestleZone must put it on 2 pages. Hannah Blossom, Soho Bolt, Taylor Hendricks, Velvet Sky, Jillian Hall, complete with terrible singing gimmick. Mickey Jamez, Serena Deeb, and the winners of the matches for that night competed in a battle royal.
Oh, well.
Madison Rayne was there in a non-wrestling role, and hey, Daphne was in the crowd.
You know, they actually got a lot more names for that than I had thought.
Yeah, but how many of those do you remember from back in the day in TNA? For me, it's Madison Rayne and Daphne, and maybe Soho Bolt, and that's all I remember.
Well, you do know Miss Jackie.
Oh, is Jackie Moore?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there are a lot of names I remember, but a lot
Will-
of them haven't been with the company in a long time.
Is that Jacqueline, or is that Charlie Haas, Miss Jackie?
It's
It's
Jacqueline.
Okay.
Former Cruiserweight champion.
Yeah. So. I don't know. I just thought that, I was looking at it and it's like, okay. Oh, and you know, I guess they made up for their ass backwards gut check decision because Lady Tapa defeated Eva Lise.
Oh,
Spoiler.
good.
Sorry.
Had to bring it up, didn't you? Oh well.
Well, you know, they had to correct their mistake because they're. I'm not getting into that again. I'm not doing it. So you guys got Impact back. Have at you.
Well, I don't know about you, Timothy, but I got Impact Wrestling starring Aces and Eights back.
You sure did. How did it feel being able to watch your first Impact in forever?
You know, with as much focus that's been put on Aces and Eights on this show, I really didn't feel like I had been away for that long. Like, I pretty much knew exactly what was happening. I mean, the tag team picture has changed a little bit, but everything else felt, you know, it was just the way I left it.
Do you wish you could put it back?
I don't know. I mean, I thought there was way too much aces and eights on this show.
I don't think there was enough.
Well, okay. I mean, you are the booker, so you can always fix that.
Yeah, I could. That's why you're going to get 8 months of it.
Oh, thank God.
8 months of it with... I'm going to go out on a limb and say all the titles will end up being in aces and eights at some point.
Yeah, I think so. Which means they need to get a knockout so they can win the knockout tag titles.
It does mean they need to get a knockout.
Maybe one of the whores they used to woo Ken Anderson will end up. Maybe the whores will end up winning the knockout titles.
One of the Godfather's whores was a hardcore champion.
Do they still reference the Knockouts tag titles?
No, I think they got dropped completely.
It's still on the website, but they haven't mentioned it in a long time. They've been the champions for over a year.
So you can say they're the longest reigning.
Yeah. Most important belts in the industry.
But I'm not going to.
Aces and Eights came out to start up the show, and Bully Ray cut a promo about how he's the president and he pulled the wool over everyone's eyes.
Except mine.
Except for Timothy's. And they're basically gonna run wild like the NWO.
Would you say they're taking over?
Probably at this point, yeah. I mean, you got guys in management. You got your world heavyweight champion. You got the TV title Devon still has.
Yes.
Yep.
So
a TV title that is not defended on TV.
Never defended on TV.
Not once.
But at least Bully Ray during the segment did taunt Hulk Hogan to come out and fire them. And so at least they were addressing that a little bit.
Yeah.
Because anybody else was like, hey, why doesn't Hogan just come out and fire all these guys and send them packing?
They do it for the whole night, too.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess this was probably the best Aces and Eights segment. That's
because they actually have a mouthpiece, finally.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as stupid as it is to turn Bully Ray, because if I remember correctly, and I'm just going by things that I've heard, didn't Aces and Eights attack him at his own wedding?
Yeah, but
and they kind of cost him the Bound for Glory series. Yeah, I mean it's TNA.
They stuck with the plan. What are you talking about?
Oh, okay.
Did they cost him the Bound for Glory series?
I think they I think they ended up running in on that. I'm not sure.
I was gonna say he just straight up lost.
Okay. Well, either way, it's kind of. I mean, like everything else with this angle, it's all nonsense. So.
In other words, it's great. A knockouts tag match with Gail Kim and Tara versus Mickey James and Velvet Sky, where they're go ahead.
No, after you.
I was going to say where they're continuing this feud between Gail Kim and the knockouts referee Taryn Terrell, which I don't give two shits about.
Yeah. They Gail Kim started taunting Taryn Terrell as soon as she got in the ring, and then Taryn Terrell ended up slapping her during the match.
Yeah. Well, she's on probation, Taryn Terrell, but probably not for any longer.
Yep, which means she's going to become an active wrestler.
Yep.
But one thing, well, there actually two surprises. These are two things I completely forgot about that this match reminded me of. Tara and Mickey James still work for TNA. I legitimately forgot about them.
Well, if you would listen to me, I've told you Tara was the champion for a while while you've been gone.
Well, I know. I know she was.
In fact, she won the title when you had left.
Yeah, I know. I remember, like, once I saw her, I remembered, she was with that guy from Big Brother.
Yeah.
But in the time that you also haven't been covering Impact, I've completely forgot about her and Mickey James.
Well, Mickey James is definitely forgetful because she's been sporadic the past few months. But no, Tara's mainly out there to whore out her restaurant, which also opened that same night, which is in Chicago.
Yeah.
So, happy eats. Let's
There's
see.
another Aces and Eights segment where they were drinking beer at a card table, and Bully Ray called and left a voicemail on Brooks' cell phone.
Why don't you return my calls? I just want to talk.
Yeah, and then say hi to Dad for me. So I don't know, I think Bully Ray could be and is going to be awesome back in the heel role, but I don't know, I'm still just not sold on anything else with this Aces and Eights angle.
Oh, you're not sold on anything.
I'm sold on Robbie T.
No, you're not.
Don't you even lie.
He's the one true Robbie. He won the Battle of the Robbies in like 2 minutes.
Stop lying.
And then he served the entire crowd in Chicago.
Stop it.
You served them by doing the Kozlov,
Yeah.
but not better than Kozlov.
No, he's not better than Kozlov, but he is the superior Robbie.
For now.
Yeah.
They come back from commercial break, and there's another Aces and Eights angle where they have all the TNA merchandise on it, and Bully gets pissed because there's no Aces and Eights gear at there. So they decide to take a hit out on someone's by randomly selecting someone in the magazine.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. And that's actually, I thought that was a cool way to decide who you're going to beat up. You know,
They had been doing the dartboard thing.
Yeah.
But I guess since they, had to move out of the impact zone, they had to switch.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, yeah, I thought it was funny when Bully Ray was complaining about no Aces and Eights merchandise, because there were NWO shirts, which were huge sellers for them. So I know that's what TNA is really trying to go for here.
Yeah. Hogan gets real pissed at Sting because it was, in fact, Sting's fault that, everyone bought into Bully Ray, even though Hogan said he's a fucking douchebag.
Yeah, Sting and Hogan. This segment was quick, and
It got to the point.
Yeah, it served its purpose, which was fine. Then immediately afterwards, Sting runs into Bobby Roode and Austin Aries backstage. Now, this was something that's new for me, too, because they were wearing wife beaters that had dirty heels written on them.
That was actually the first night I had seen that on them.
Oh, so, okay, that's new. Okay.
So it was new to me. But it did not take away from the hilarity of it.
No. But the first thing I thought of was when Ziggler had #heel on his trunks. That's what this reminded me of. But those guys are really funny, really funny together. And they were taunting Sting, and Sting was talking about looking for a fight. Bobby Roode just kind of moonwalks out of camera shot. So Sting ends up booking himself versus Austin Aries for later in the night.
I just like the fact that Bobby Roode and Austin Aries' entire gimmick right now is one-upping each other.
Yeah, those guys are funny.
The Cazios came out as the Road Warriors.
Yes, this was my favorite segment of the show. These guys are
Boom.
the Legion of Boom.
Oh, what a push!
Yeah. This was Daniels is always great, but I'm really happy that Kaz, after all these years in TNA, has finally been able to get put into a world where he can show some real personality. Yeah, I think this has done a lot of wonders for him. But yeah, they were both really good in this segment.
Yeah, and then Storm comes out and does his angry redneck stuff, which is really good in this case.
Yeah,
I thought.
He was coming out to defend the honor of Arthur Jameson Styles, and Daniels was talking about how Styles let all the TNA fans down yet again.
I thought the best thing Storm said was how LOD are way over more than Kaz and Daniels ever were.
Yeah, I thought that was it was nice, and with those the Legion of Boom, the Legion of Doom rather, being from Chicago, I could actually I would like to see these guys do something like this every week, or when they go to a town for tapings, like a legendary tag team is from, and come out and do a little bit of a shtick like that. I think it'd be pretty funny.
Yeah, and then Storm beats Daniels. The Casuals beat up on Storm, and AJ Styles actually comes out to make the save.
Yeah,
as a disheveled hobo.
Yeah, and Daniels really sells a clothesline, or was it Kaz?
It was Kaz, because Daniel sees it happen. And he basically goes, "Nah, I want none of this."
Yeah, but Kaz takes his clothesline from Styles, and he does the spot where he kind of flips around in the air and twists around. He sells it like death. Styles didn't say anything, and I thought that was a good way, a good quick way to bring him back. A lot of
especially when he decapitates Storm.
Yeah. So I'm thinking you're gonna kind of have a build somewhat similar, and I don't want to keep referencing old WCW, but again, I was kind of reminded of
Sting.
When Sting became the Crow, when he was you didn't really know exactly which way he was going to go, and he was just beating up everybody.
Oh, this will be a quick turn for him then.
Yeah.
Joseph Park came out to get cheap pops, and Matt Morgan murdered him.
Yeah, that set up a match between the two of them on next week's show too.
Yeah.
Which
good.
I don't know how excited you are for that match.
Not one bit.
All right, that makes two of us.
But I was excited for Sting and Aries, especially since the crowd popped for both of them, especially for Sting.
Yeah, Sting got a really big ovation, and there were a lot of dueling chants early on in this match too.
Right. Well, in fairness, Austin Aries was an ROH guy, and they are in old ROH town.
Yeah, they have ran a lot of Chicago shows. So, but no, I thought this match was pretty good. I mean, Sting was, Sting was, fine. I mean, Aries was definitely, the bigger workhorse during this match, as you would expect.
Yeah.
Really, taking all of Sting's offense, bumping for him really well. Aries did hit a Stinger splash.
Aries also tried to do the Scorpion Deathlock.
Scorpion Deathlock.
He was like, "How do you do this?"
And he couldn't figure it out. Yeah, it's really funny.
I also like the counter that Sting did to Aries, where Aries had got him up for the Brainbuster, and Sting countered it into the Death Drop.
Yeah, it floated over to the Death Drop.
And then Aces and Eights came out to make it a no contest, and then they stayed in the ring for the rest of the show.
Yeah, and I don't know. I guess.
And I know you and Brian are not big fans of big brawls at the end of these shows, but
it's not. I don't like brawls. I don't like inconclusive brawls, and I don't like when a show uses that over and over again.
Well, in this case, I think you like the fact there was a conclusion, because Aces and Eights completely destroyed the cavalry that came out.
Yeah, and this is a case, I agree with Brian. I mean, TNA uses this as a crutch way too often, and you kind of have just, a pointless brawl, and you fade to black. Where this brawl, you had it set up, with the storyline of Hulk Hogan coming out and, rallying the troops to go fight Aces and Eights. And the troops come out, and the troops get their asses kicked.
Which you usually don't see.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it was really, it was unexpected. Because I assumed, oh, great, we're going to have another pointless brawl. It's going to fade to black. I actually started fast forwarding, and then I saw that the TNA guys were, slowly getting thrown out of the ring. So I ended up watching the last couple of minutes of it. So I thought that was.
And then Bully Ray goes up at least halfway through the ramp, continuing to taunt Hogan.
Yeah, it was really. That was actually a really cool segment.
It was also really effective for Aces and Eights, I thought.
Yeah, I think this was probably the most dangerous that they've looked, throughout this whole angle. At least from what I've seen. I mean, I've missed the entire Jeff Hardy title run, so I don't know if they've done anything else. But
all right, well, Here's what I think's going to happen for the next 8 months, and this is considering we're going from now until Bound for Glory. Now, we have a pay-per-view in between now and then called Slammiversary, and that's in June. And spoilers, next week they have a number one contenders title, number one contendership where Meth Hardy wins. So he'll be facing Bully Ray, but I don't know if that's going to be at Slammiversary or on a regular show in between then and now. So, because, rematch clauses mean shit in TNA.
Yes, they do.
But, and Brian brought this up to me before because I was thinking about this during the week. Bully Ray's first real feud for that title should be with Sting, because Sting's the one who put the trust in him and whatnot, and that makes sense. But I think his next two feuds, and you tell me what you think, Helmick, should be against Matt Morgan and Joseph Park, who would eventually and hopefully revert back into Abyss.
I would be okay with Joseph Park. I think that would be, a good choice. You have history there with those two. You could bring back the Abyss character if you wanted. Matt Morgan, I'm not so sure about because they're positioning him as a heel right now, and I would have no interest in seeing Matt Morgan versus Bully Ray.
But there is history between Matt Morgan and Bully Ray, because Bully Ray had put Matt Morgan on the shelf, and that's why Matt Morgan came back as his disheveled self. So there is history there. Not to mention, I would want to choose Matt Morgan because in order for the end result to be effective, I want Bully Ray to have to face two monsters on the road to Bound for Glory and beat them. And so I want to build Bully Ray as this monster who just can't be beat until the hero of TNA comes and saves them. That hero obviously being Arthur Jameson Styles, because it's all set up perfectly for him.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I guess you could do Morgan. I mean, I've never been a huge Matt Morgan fan.
Well, it's not like it's not like Bully Ray is going to lose to him anyway. But
no, you're right.
It just makes sense in a storyline sense, and you got Bully Ray facing this monster, and that's what I'm trying to push here.
Okay, yeah. So I can see something like that where I mean, I definitely like the idea of Joseph Park. Sting makes sense. See, I'm trying to think of how many pay-per-views are between now and Bound for Glory.
I just told you, you only have one. You got Slammiversary.
Oh, it's just Slammiversary?
Because they're only doing 4 pay-per-views this year, and Slammiversary will be the 3rd.
Okay. So, yeah, I could see that. You could do something like that.
Now. Okay, go ahead. I'll let you finish up.
As far as things on like the TV tapings, I would like to see Bully Ray kind of pull the shtick of I'm the king of the castle, and I don't feel like fighting tonight, so I'm not going to. Yeah, and you can't say shit to me because I'm the champ. What now? Something where because I'm always a big fan of limiting your champion's wrestling appearances on free television anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that would be a good way to try to generate some interest in in your pay-per-view buys. If it's one of the few times you'll actually be able to see your heavyweight champion defend the title and wrestle.
That's not going to happen, though.
I don't know. I know it's not going to happen. But I don't know. I mean, I guess you could do a lot of things with this. I mean, if another angle that you could end up pulling too, and you could use this to fill up some appearances and to provide some potential fresh matchups is if Hogan sends out the entire TNA roster and they all got killed, you could bring in guys for one-offs. Hogan could go out and try to get get some hired guns to come in and beat up aces and eights, and those guys can fail, and Hogan can just be outdone at every turn. I think there's a lot of things that you could do with that.
Well, here's the dream scenario. Okay, my dream scenario is the fact that aces and eights will win all the titles. Okay,
I think that's very possible.
and you're going to have the reformation of Fortune, who will save TNA and win back those titles. So you would hopefully see the reunion of Beer Money, and you could have someone like Kaz or Daniels win the X Division and TV titles. Or I guess in just this case it'd be 5-Chin. So
Yeah.
But that's how I would see it. You know, as far as who would win the titles as far as Ace and Ace is concerned, I think you could have Doc and Nux be your tag champions.
I like that idea. I was thinking the same thing.
And you're not going to like my choice for X Division champion.
D'Lo Brown?
Shut the fuck up. Because now you're just kidding me. You know full well the best choice will be the future.
Well, of course. I mean, he is the future of this business.
He is. Because that's how you infuriate us.
Yeah. Yeah, so... Yeah, I mean, so you would actually... I mean, you would turn Kaz and Daniel's face...
Quote unquote.
And put him back with Fortune, or would you just do it as like those guys would like reunite for like a one night only, type thing to go take care of the bigger evil?
That part I haven't figured out yet. I think that's what it would end up being, but I haven't gotten that far ahead yet.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
so yes, that will also mean that Rude and Aries will eventually break up, whether Rude and Aries turn on each other, but either way, they won't be tag champions for much longer.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely don't see that pairing lasting for the long term. I think you could do that where you could turn, Bobby Roode.
Yeah, I would say Bobby Roode would be the one to go and face.
Yeah,
face of anything.
Yeah, you can turn Bobby Roode. I think Aries, Aries I think would work as a face. I think he's much better as a heel. And then if you wanted to reunite Beer Money and have them go after Aces and Eights, I think that would be good. Everything else that you were saying about Styles coming back as TNA's hero.
Well, he's not coming back as TNA's hero. Styles is TNA's hero.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think that makes the most logical sense.
And it's set up perfectly for him.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think you could do... Yeah, as far as something with like the X Division in the future, I think you could have somebody like a Kaz or Daniels, or or you could even do I'm trying to think of who's even in that division now. You could have like Christian York finally win the big one or something.
No.
Okay.
well, if he does, he won't be having it for long.
No, and I'm not saying that he would need to.
But it doesn't go along with his dream, so he doesn't want it.
That's true.
Don't tell him what I want.
Well,
I don't know what I want sometimes.
Yeah, see, I could see them doing something like that, or not. Or what you could even do is you could pretty much use Bound for Glory as like a final showdown, where it's like a winner takes all. So like whoever wins the most matches that night, wins 100% control of TNA somehow, and you could still have some Aces and Eights guys win, and you can have TNA win the series and at like 4-3 or 5-4. Like you still have to be close, but to where they end up where Styles beats Bully Ray to break the tie, and the forces of good triumph. Which for TNA would be an anomaly.
So Helmick, are you saying you want to see Teflon Taz versus Iron Mike Tenay?
Ooh.
Because that's what you're saying.
For the fate of TNA commentary.
You're thinking about it real good.
See, I'm thinking about it because I think there's a possibility of Taz like breaking his jaw and not be able to work on commentary for a few weeks, and having that break from him would be pretty nice.
Well, You would want him to break Todd Kenneally's jaw, not Mike Tenay.
No, I'm talking about Taz breaking his own jaw.
Oh, okay.
Or like Iron Mike Tenay breaking Taz's jaw. Yeah, the other guy, not Tenay or Taz, I don't know his name.
Todd Kenneally.
Yes, not Tenay or Taz.
Todd Kenneally.
That guy has gotten a little bit better since the first time I've heard him. I will give him that. But still is nowhere near as good as the NXT announcers. Just really saying something because they're not very good either. So I think you could do something. I mean, I don't. You know what? Sure, let's do it. Give me Taz and Tenay.
Hey, get their names right. It's Teflon Taz and Iron Mike.
Teflon Taz and Iron Mike Tenay. And
fuck
you know
this
what?
company.
And you know what? Bring Don West back to call that match. You can have Don West and not Tenay or Taz calling that match.
Let me just go ahead and say, fuck this company.
Yeah. Yes, I don't know. I think there's a lot of things that you could do with it. I still don't know how they're going to run this out through Bound for Glory, though. That's going to be a long time.
Yeah. Look. We predicted what was going to happen at least 7 months in advance.
That's true. I mean, we do have a good track record, especially you. But I just don't know if you can keep, like, again, because I think that's the one problem you have with big angles like this, especially with this angle being the predominant storyline of the show. I mean, you need these guys to make several appearances per week, and if you're going to have them just come out and beat down the TNA roster every week, at some point, people are going to start to lose interest. So, I mean, I think the middle, the time in between is going to be, the real hardship of keeping this interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you have like Joe and Magnus, beat like Anderson and D'Lo Brown maybe, or even if you have somebody like Magnus win the TV title for a while and then drop it back, or because I mean you got to give the TNA guys some wins in the meantime.
Yeah,
and I think Joe and Magnus would be perfect candidates for something like that. Where they can be, they don't have to be, the big heroes, but they can still be in the fight and giving TNA an actual chance.
I hear that.
So I don't know. I mean, it could be interesting, but I just don't know if I trust them enough to run with an angle this big for this amount of time.
Well, we couldn't trust them last year when me and you had completely thought they were going to do Rude and Storm at Bound for Glory for the title. When then Destination X, they completely swerved us by having Austin Aries beat Bobby Roode for that title.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, and Aries was on fire at that point, but
yeah,
I still don't think, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I can see them just doing some weird like hot shot swerve or title change or something if somebody does get hot, or if they're just trying to keep people on their toes and they throw logic out of the window.
Oh, that's what I did.
Yeah, and that's why you're always right. Because you're on the writing team.
Yeah, haven't seen a single paycheck for it.
Man, you and Jimmy Yang.
Yeah, no.
Guys just can't catch a break.
Or a paycheck.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I don't know. It's again, I think we would end up with you can end up with some a bit if you make it a big, if you make the final showdown a big event. I think you can generate some interest. But do you think they're going to be adding anybody else to Aces and Eights?
I don't know at this point. I think they're good as they are as far as the numbers.
I mean, I think they have too many people, but
I think they have enough because they have enough to cover the titles. The only thing they're lacking is, as far as I'm concerned, a female for their group. So then they could have someone win the Knockouts title.
Yeah, and then they got to win the Knockout Tag titles.
Yeah, that's okay.
I don't know. I don't think they're through adding people yet.
Well, we'll see.
So is that all of your Impact stuff?
That's all I got, unless Helmick has something more.
Oh, Bob Van Tam was not on the show this week. That made me very happy.
His contract is up.
I know that. Well, I didn't know that, but that's even better.
Yep. His contract is expired. Though they knew that one, I think.
I was about to say, are they sure they knew about it?
God damn it. Seriously, just God damn it. I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand. Want. That's all. I don't get it.
Oh, wait a minute. Timothy West Briscoe could be the X Division champion.
Yeah, he could. He's not going to.
But yeah, he could. Fuck him.
And it's nothing against him. It's
I
just
can't argue with that.
Oh, it's everything against him.
No, I really don't have anything against West Briscoe. Because for whatever reason, I'm going to assume he's feuding with Kerrang.
Forever and ever.
Yeah, it's going to be the Kerrang and Jeff Jarrett feud length.
Mm-hmm. All right, then. Well, since that is everything, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Howard, you still alive?
Yeah, I just woke up.
Okay. Okay.
I find that TNA goes by a lot faster when I'm sleeping.
All right. Tomorrow night, Digital Reload. We'll talk some form of gaming stuff. I'll figure something out.
We can talk about stuff.
Gears comes out on Tuesday.
Yep. There's a demo for Harmonite on the 3DS.
Yeah, I played it. I played through the demo.
So did I. I beat Dead Space 3.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, it was the Dead Spaciest.
So we'll find out how Dead Spacey it was. Hey, maybe you can get the DLC. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
Also, starting tomorrow on digitaldailyfix.com, we will begin our March Madness tournament, also known as the Franchise Free-for-All, which I forgot to ask you guys how you like the logo. I guess none of you saw it.
It's great.
None of you saw it.
I didn't see the logo, though. Did I?
I like that you have Cosmo Kramer in the lower right-hand corner.
Are you looking at it right now?
Okay, I did not
No.
see. I did not see the updated one with Kramer.
Well, this is the only logo I've made for it,
Okay.
and it was put out on Friday.
Could use more Archie, though.
Oh. Well, I think what Archie's missing is the Punisher by his side.
Yeah.
Anyway, hopefully you guys look at the website more than our contributors do. As the tournament begins tomorrow, we will have the opening round, our first opening round matches that will run tomorrow and Tuesday, with results releasing first thing Wednesday. We have new tournaments, new matchups every 2 days. So, opening round, I guess for the West side, starts tomorrow. East side starts on the 20th, because I kind of mixed everything up, so we didn't do live action on one, animated on the other. And like I said, it will go every 2 days all the way up to April the 8th is where we will crown our champion franchise. So look forward to that. And like I said, we'll have our first matches up tomorrow. Just visit digitaldailyfix.com, look for the post, and vote away. It will probably pop up as multiple posts, probably 2 posts we'll have up filled with matchups. We'll have the video game region and the movies region tomorrow. So you'll have exciting matchups such as the Super Mario Brother franchise versus Assassin's Creed, Alien versus Die Hard, Madden versus Final Fantasy, Transformers versus Indiana Jones. So Shia LaBeouf versus Shia LaBeouf.
Ooh.
Oh,
I'm going to vote for whichever one is the beefiest.
I was going to say, who's the beefiest? And that is going to be a lot of our big stuff for the week. Will be our constant tournament matchups and updates, as well as Digital Reload tomorrow. So until then, ladies and gentlemen, hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you tune in next week, and we'll be back once again with another episode of The Chinlock. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.